Hi everyone. In this video we are going to learn Trendline and Sparkline in Excel. Trendline and Sparklines are the valuable data visualization tool in Excel. Trendline helps the user to understand and forecast data trend by fitting a line to data point in a chart. Trendline reveals patterns and relationships aiding in decision making and analysis. On the other hand, sparklines are the miniature chart embedded within a cell, providing a concise visual representation of data trend. Both Trendline and Sparklines enhances data interpretation. Let's understand Trendline in Excel first. A trend line in Excel is a visual representation of general direction of data points in a chart. It helps users to identify and analyze trends or patterns within the data. By fitting a line to the data points, a trend line provides a simplified depiction of overall trend and can be used to forecast future values based on historical data. Trend lines in Excel are a powerful tool for data analysis and decision making. Let's check out our Excel sheet to understand the trend line. Here I have the call volume data of a call center and the calls received during the year 2022 for these months week-wise is what we have here. Here I want to know the trend of the call flow during the first week of every month during the year 2022. When we look at the numbers like this, we see that almost 89,000 or 80,000 plus are the call flow that we receive in the first week on every month during 2022. For us to understand the trend of the call flow during the first week of every month in the year 2022, just select the range, go to Insert, go to Line or Area Chart option, select the first one for trend line. We can see a line chart like this. This line chart helps us to understand the patterns of the call flow. We see that the call flow was little high and it gradually reduced over the months. During the first week of all these 12 months in a year. Here we see that during the first week of Jan, we see the call flow was little high and it gradually reduced for the next month. It picked up a little in the month of March. It again went a little down in the month of April and again increased in the month of April, which was almost as same as what we received in the month of Jan. Again, it went really down in the month of June and July. In the month of August, it picked up again and it reduced again for September and October. Call flow increased a bit in the month of November, but again was very low in the month of December. Through this line chart, we can clearly see the pattern of call flow and the trend. We see the trend is it's going down from 90,000 to the December first week when we saw that call flow, which was, we see that it's 75,000 in the month of December. So we see that there is a reduction or the fluctuation in the call flow, and this is how the pattern looks like. Let's see the call flow during the second week of all the months. Just click on this line. Now we need to know the patterns of week 2. Let's move this to week 2. We want the months to be the same, but just referring the different week. Here in week 2 pattern, what do we observe here? We see an entirely different pattern for week 2. During the second week of January 2022, the call flow was 81,000. It was almost the same in the month of February for the same week too. In the month of March, we see there is a slight improvement here. April and May, there is a dip again. Slight improvement in the month of June. Almost the same in the month of July for second week. Peak increase in the volume for the month of August, week 2. Again for September and October, the volume went down. Slight improvement in the November month, and again a little better in December month for week 2. So the pattern is completely different for week 1 and week 2. Let's check out for week 3. For that, let's click on this line. The range gets highlighted. Let me move to week 3 here. Now the data is updated to week 3. We see another new pattern here where the starting month of week 3 was 81,000, and here during the end of December it's again within the same 81,000 range. But over the period of 12 months, we see that the pattern was high, a little high, down, little high, very much reduced, picked up again, a good increase, and then a slight reduction. From this pattern, what we understand is during the month of July, week 3, we experienced very less call volume, and in the month of November, week 3, we experienced a little high call volume. This pattern helps us understand the peak month and the low volume month. We can see the pattern of week 4 as well. When we look at this graph, we see that the week 4 call volume has always been in the high volume range for the year 2022. It means that during week 4, we'll have to make sure that the employees are available to receive calls so that there won't be any call miss. This trend analysis pattern helps us understand that the week 4 is the crucial week during all the months where the call flow is little high and we need more people to attend the calls so that the leaves are well balanced and we have enough people to take the calls. This is how Trendline helps us to understand the trend or the pattern of the call flow and help us take the necessary decision. We can even have multiple trend lines. Single trend line helps us narrow down the week-wise data, but we can also have multiple trend lines. Let's select month on all the weeks, insert, go to the line chart and select the first one again. We see that the charts are closely intersecting and we are not able to understand the patterns. From the legend entry here, we can see the week number, looking at the color. The gray color graph is for week 3 and the dark orange is week 2. We see that week 2 and week 3 are almost intersecting and we are not able to get a clear picture about the trend or the patterns of this call volume. For us to get a clear idea about the week pattern, let's change the vertical axis range. We see that the minimum value range starts from 0, but we don't have any call volumes from 0 to 60,000 range. So let's enter 60,000 here. Hit enter. We see the changes now, but this is still not giving us a clear picture about the patterns for week 2, week 3 and week 1. From the legend entry here, we see that the line colors will show us the week numbers. Let's remove week 3 and week 4 from the chart using the colors. Click on the gray color for week 3. Delete. Click on yellow for week 4 and delete. Now we only have week 1 and week 2 trend lines. where we see that week 1 is going from high to low, but week 2 is going from low to a bit high. This shows that we can accommodate more leaves during the end of the month during the week 1, where the week 2 line tells us that we cannot accommodate too many leaves at the end of the year, where only the first few months of the year week 2 can accommodate good number of leaves, but after July it's difficult to accommodate the number of leaves during week 2. This way, with the help of trend pattern analysis or trend analysis, we can clearly understand how to accommodate leaves so that we have enough people to receive the calls without any calls abandoned. Trend analysis is a crucial step for any business to understand its performance so that the right decision is made as per the patterns. Now let's understand the Sparkline for data visualization. Sparklines in Excel are small, condensed charts embedded within the individual cells. They offer a quick and efficient way to analyze and interpret data without the need of large or complex charts. Sparklines are commonly used in tables or alongside text. Sparklines in Excel enhances data visualization and facilitates clear communication. Let's go to our Excel file. Here you see the week number data. This is a pivot table. And this is the sum of calls offered during the month for the week 1, 2, 3 and 4. For all these 12 months in 2017, this data is for 2017, and for the week 1 of all these 12 months, the call flow is this, and for week 2 this is the call volume numbers, and week 3 and week 4 is so on like this. Like the way we understood about the trend lines, we can understand the patterns of these call flow, whether any month during the week 1 is high or low. However, in the trend lines, when we put the chart for all these 4 weeks together, the 4 trend lines did not give us the clear information about the patterns, as the lines were intersecting. Let's use Sparkline to get the clear idea about the patterns of call flow. With the help of Sparklines, we can get the trend of all these call flow during the months for first week, second, third week and fourth week simultaneously without having any intersection. Let's see how to do that. Click on a cell where we want the output to be shown. Go to Insert again. We see something called as Sparklines here. Let me select the line Sparkline first. It's asking for the data range. Let me select the week 1 data range. Click OK. Now we see the trend line showing up here in a small tiny cell. We can expand this. We see that there are multiple Sparkline styles. We can pick any style, any color. This is the dark style. If you want the Sparkline color to be different, you can choose a different color. We have multiple options here to improve the visuals. Click on high point. You see that the highest point is in the month of December. That is the peak month. We can even select the low point. And the low point here is the month of February. If you think that the line thickness is very thin, you can increase the thickness of the line. Go to Sparkline colors, weight. Let me select this option. Now we see that the trend is in a growing trend. For me to understand the trends for week 2, week 3 and week 4, Let me select all the 4 cells and Control D. We can now see the trend line for all the 4 weeks in different rows. Now we understand the patterns of call flow for week 1, 2, 3 and 4 separately in just one cell. This is why Sparkline is always a helpful tool when we have to visualize the data in a small embedded cell. Here we have 3 different types of Sparkline. We used only the line Sparkline. Let's use the column Sparkline. The date range what I have taken here is for week 1 for all the months. Okay. And with the help of this bar chart Sparkline, we understand that the call volume has been high in the month of December during the first week. And it has given us the complete interpretation of the call flow, the trend and the patterns of all the call volume during the first week of all the 12 months in just one cell. Let me drag this to all the other 3 cells. When we look at the second week, we see that only 1 month we received less call volume. And the same goes here in week 4. That we see that only the second month we received very less call volume, otherwise all the call volume was almost the same. Through this graphical interpretation, it's very easy for us to understand the patterns. Like the way in line chart, we can even select the high point and the low point. And here we see that the high point and the low point has a different color. So the highest call volume range is shown in red and the lowest call volume is also shown in red. Go to marker color. For low point, let it be red. For high point, let me take it as green. So now here we have green for high and red for low call volume. We can even change the year and go to 2018. And as the range changes, the data also changes. Same with 2019. When I select 2019, the data range changes and even the pattern changes. So we don't have to manually sit and apply charts for each and every year and the months. We can simply draw a sparkline like this and we can easily understand the trends or the patterns of call flow. Now let's understand the highlights of this video. Trendline helps us make the business decisions. However, with the multiple trend lines, the visual won't be provided clearly. Trendline pattern helps the business to understand the performance by looking at the increase or the decrease pattern of trend lines. Sparkline is very helpful as we get a concise view of overall performance in one cell range.